Hello everybody, my name is John, if you don't know me already, and this is, or will be, my very first time listening to Radiohead's In Rainbows. Now you might be thinking, John, you're English, you're old, how the hell have you not listened to this album? And the truth of the matter is, I haven't listened to a Radiohead album that they released after the year 2000. And in fact, thinking about it, I don't know if I've actually listened to a whole album front to back from before that, but obviously I know a lot of their big hits from back in that era. Now, Radiohead were a band that were massive during the 90s, and that's when I was at school. And in truth, the most annoying kids from the year above me and the year above that from my school were big Radiohead fans. And one of them in particular, this is a very real reason why I've not listened to much of their music. One of them in particular used to bully me a lot when I was at school. I went to an all-boys school and the bullying was bad. And because I associated those times and those emotions from my life with this band, no fault of the band's of course, it put me off ever listening to them. But, and you'll forgive the slightly longer intro here than I normally do on my videos, it is time to put some of those demons to rest from my past. Be it around Pink Floyd, which is another story for another time. And in truth, there are so many Radiohead songs from before this era that I love, like anybody would, whether it's Fake Plastic Trees, whether it's Karma Police, or others. However, I have heard no songs from this album unless they have been used in film or commercial soundtracks, and they may have been at Radiohead or Radiohead. And the requests across the Patreon and now the main channel and the community post for this have been enormous. Just quickly guys, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to watch the full uncut ad-free version, there is a link down in the description to the Patreon, and also this video was available on the Patreon weeks before it hit YouTube, so if you go there now, there will be others in this classic series and exclusives that will be on there as well. But yeah, for the full experience, Patreon, that is the lifeblood of the channel. It's how I'm able to keep doing this. So if you'd like to come and support and see the video in its proper form, that's down there. So without further ado, it is time to listen to In Rainbows from Radiohead. I will see you on the other side. You reel me out and you could be stream. I must admit, that melody is slightly familiar. What's really interesting, and it should come as no surprise, is the syncopation between that melody, his voice, and the drums. Obviously, an extremely complex, musically intricate band, and from my understanding, from the music that I'm much more familiar with from the 90s, it only becomes more complicated as we go forward. Like all those, my kids watch YouTube videos and that fucking children cheering sound effect comes up all the time. I wasn't expecting that one. It was just starting to really take me some. So I'm going to take it back a little bit because that did distract me. So I don't want to pause the songs individually too much because I feel that might spoil the mood that they're trying to, well obviously it will. But you also know how reaction videos work. When this, yeah, when the bass comes in here. So while the early part of the melody of that song was familiar, makes me think maybe it's been used in a movie, maybe it's been used in commercials. in adverts, as we call them. Once the song started growing and filling out and adding all those layers, it was quite an experience just from that first listen. What does it mean? I mean, there's already, I can see online, the amount of discussion about the time signature. This is the type of band that we're dealing with here. But, you know, one of my all-time favourite bands is Tool, so I have no issue with these subjects being discussed. It's a song about love and betrayal as well as the repetition of failed pursuits, it says here. With Tom York describing a lot of the songs to an anonymous fear thing. Oh, great. I won't go too much into that. I'll see what interpretations I can get out of that. An anonymous fear and anxiety. Great, I'm going to have a great time. The feeling that I feel at all times. Let us continue with Body Snatchers. Okay.
I do not understand.
Again, that syncopation.
What it is, I don't know. But for the whole, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm trapped in this
Something fucking going on there. There's just like, almost like annoying anxiety tapping me on the shoulder, trying to distract me from the fun. Fucking God, come on. This song is simultaneously heavy and not. I instantly have a very strange relationship with this song. I'll talk about it in a minute. I'll try and articulate it. Coming back again. I mean, ostensibly, at its core, that is like a hard rock song with some sort of old garage rock sensibilities. It's a real head nodder. It's definitely in my wheelhouse, my cup of tea. But there was something else going on there, mate. It really was. And it was like something in the way that it was arranged and the screeching elements and instrumental, which I sensed sort of up there somewhere, which were like, I was trying to just enjoy the song because it's, you know, fast-paced, good beat, good guitars, love the fucking heavy distortion on the guitar. You know, it's a style of music that you can't help nod your head to. The drive of it. Yet there was something pulling me the whole time. Like, and I don't know if I've been influenced by the fact that I just read that meaning of the previous song and maybe the whole album about this sort of anonymous fear. But that's, I just, someone was fucking just like, you can't just fucking relax. That's what it felt like to me. And I feel like that a lot anyway. You can't relax. You're not allowed to relax. Look. This. And I don't know what that is, and I've never known what that is. But the more I look into it, and the more I read about psychology, and the more I read about these things and try and learn about these things, it feels like some of these things that I've never dealt with from my past, from my adolescence particularly, are just stuck there. They're stuck. They're emotions I've never processed. They're emotions I never dealt with. I didn't deal with them when I was young, and I've not dealt with them as an adult. I've just thrown myself into work and distractions and busyness, as we all do, and there's stuff that's just there, it's still there, and I feel like all it needs to do is just move through me. But it's so it's like crystalline, you know. It's not just stuck there, that just needs to move something out the way. It's like fucking stuck, like Han Solo in Empire Strikes Back, you know, it's fucking stuck. So we need to chisel it out. We need to thaw it out before it can move. And that's what that song was just, it was almost like, that's what the tap on the shoulder felt like. What a curious feeling that song has left me with. Because like I say, at its core, it's just a head nodder, but it's not. Okay, Nude. We're getting into the big streaming numbers, by the way, on Spotify now. Sorry to pause, but this feels like the song No Surprises if it had no concern of it being radio friendly at all. You know, it doesn't have to be something that's poppy at all. Amazing as that song is, it's definitely part of an era where bands had big radio play. It's not like now, bands don't really have radio play in the same way that they do, especially over here. But back then, they did. They were like the prevailing music in the 90s. This just feels like we're going to take the essence of something like that, but with no, I mean, it's called Nude, right? That to me is like no concern over it being commercial. I don't know if it's deliberate, but definitely with some of the patterns, the melodic patterns in there, and then that ending felt very religious. There's elements of religious music in there as well, but as well as everything else that I said about the radio friendliness, that was like starting in a place of discomfort, disquiet, and then when it just everything pulls away and it's just his voice and everything just goes so gentle with the strings. I got this warm, tingly, calming sensation flood my body in a way that is... Music definitely has the power to do this at its best, but it felt like it was almost engineered to do that, rather than it just happening just through luck. Wow. The other thing, 3 songs in, I talk about I haven't felt like I've scratched the surface of a piece of art. But like, you know, just think of a scratch card or anything where you've got to scratch that metal shit off. I don't even feel like I've made the first little incision. I can't even see anything that's underneath it yet. I've basically just touched it from these first listens of these songs. Weird Fishes / Arpeggi. I mean, it's so many streams, maybe I've heard it. I don't know. Let's go. I don't think so.
The bar
to a different world.
and wade fishes.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that felt like... I don't know where I went for the first part, the first 3 minutes of that song, but I wasn't here. I mean, I was physically here, but I wasn't here. I was gone. I was somewhere else. I was definitely down in the ocean, this metaphorical ocean, but physically there as well. But it felt like I was just having a few moments where I was able to dig deeper inside, as strange as that sounds. And then the end, I guess that's the arpeggi part, was just this like sort of glorious but slightly haunting crescendo. Whereas the end of the previous song felt like maybe we were ascending to a new spiritual plane. That one felt like it was a combination of ascension, but there was a lot of fucking fear surrounding it. It's kind of chaotic. And for me, personally, this is a strange listening experience because one, like I said, I don't feel like I'm truly scratching the surface of any of these songs. This is an album to be listened to so many times, clearly. Two, it's stirring up stuff inside based on what I said at the beginning and a bunch of other stuff which I didn't even think that that was registering at first, and it feels like it's just somebody's gone in there with like a whisk and is just mixing stuff up, but it's not ready to it's not ready to move yet. I don't know what that's all about. It's a strange feeling. And thirdly, this channel, this journey, and truly what I really look for in art and entertainment is something that moves me. Whether it's music, whether it's film, whether it's literature, whether it's video games, even sport, which is something that can move me incredibly, even though it wouldn't traditionally be considered art. And that is ultimately what this is all about, and being able to share that with you. And if I can connect to the same spiritual feelings of being with these classic albums, which I haven't done in a while, to be honest. That's what the essence of the channel was. It was music that meant so much to so many people. And then it was me listening to it for the first time. And so many people would hopefully get that same feeling. One, the feeling that they had from the first time that they heard it, but also through mirror neurons and all sorts of strange brain chemistry things that have been part of our human makeup since before we were even humans, I think, but certainly thousands and thousands of years, many thousands of years. There is something that a piece of art like that, once it connects with so many hundreds of thousands and millions of people, just puts out into the universe. And then if somebody else tunes into that as well, and it's almost like we all connect at that moment. And that's why these videos can be so powerful, whether they're mine or they're somebody else's. It's why I fell in love with this format in the first place, watching other people. When I listen to an album like that, understanding that it's like the ghosts of a million listeners surround it. And I felt that very strongly in the past, listening to Frank Ocean, listening to the early Weekend albums, listening to Mac, listening to a lot of those records that really move me. And they're the biggest videos on the channel. And it feels like another opportunity to have that happen. And it's such a strange and overpowering feeling, especially as this is not like straight, easily beautiful, like something like Frank Ocean, or straight, immediately like captivating in the same way that House of Balloons is. This is complicated. Not that those albums aren't, but this is complicated and complex and dealing with multiple things at the same time. And honestly, I'm feeling feelings and then trying to immediately articulate them is very difficult. They're literally at different parts of the brain. The emotive parts of the brain and the language centers of the brain are different. That's why it's so difficult to put your feelings into words. But I try my best on these videos, but fucking hell, it's a very intense experience I'm having.
I am all the days that you choose to ignore. You are all I need. You're all I need.
incredible. I wasn't sure about the song at first, but obviously it built and built and built simultaneously a song of hope and despair at the same time, which is a very complicated feeling just to get from a song. That's definitely the you know what I said, but it's hard to put your feelings into words. That is definitely the sensation that I'm getting from the record overall. Now, I'm not trying to look into the exact meanings of the song so much, because I just want to feel what I feel from listening to the record. At times, during that one, I felt like it was sung from the point of view of like a frozen part, or a kind of a lost and exiled part of your psyche, which is in there, and all it needs is protect. It's very complicated. It's like it's from that part, and all I need is the protection and the salvation of its protector part. But in truth, those things are actually getting in the way. Again, I'm trying to articulate my personal feelings rather than doing like a theoretical analysis of the music, because well, what else can I do really? But let it be known, 5 tracks into this, I'm not surprised, no surprises. I'm not surprised that I am blown away by the album, because not only are they a band that I've known have produced incredible songs from the tracks I'm very familiar with, like I said, from the 90s, but this is widely considered an all-time classic. So it doesn't surprise me that it's amazing, but the feelings it's creating within me are very, very, very difficult to process on this first listen. It's like I can't fully succumb to the builds and to the crescendos almost. And I don't know if that's a deliberate choice of the arrangements because of the skill of the protagonists involved, or that's just me. I don't know.
Wakey, wakey, rise and shine, it's on again, off again, on again. Watch me fall like dominoes in pretty patterns, fingers in the blackbird pie. I'm tingling, tingling, tingling. It's what you feel now, what you ought to. Duplicate, plastic bag.
Just the fucking time signature of this song is really, really difficult to follow.
From the neck up, I guess I'm stuck. We thought you had it in, but no. Exactly where do you get up? There's a no.
Sounds like Andre from Dark Souls. fuck knows what to say about that. Fuck knows, dude. So I don't know where I went first 3 minutes. I don't know. I wasn't here. I mean, that happens sometimes doing this, but that was profound. I was completely gone. I guess definitely in my own head. But I felt like I'd gone somewhere else. It was very strange. And then just the beauty of the final 2 minutes. But it's like, you know, when you listen to, like, I don't know, some beautiful music, even if it's just classical music, and there's a certain feeling I associate with beautiful, transcendent music. And this gives me that, but it's doing something else as well that I just can't quite compute. And it is disquieting. It is slightly uncomfortable. And it's almost like there's something blocking within me to fully... I can feel it in my body. I hold a lot of tension in my body at the best of times, but I can feel it right now. It's hard. It's a very strange experience. It's a very strange experience. This is definitely poking at some stuff that's been in there a long time. And listen, I spoke about that thing with how I had an issue with the band because of school and things, but honestly, I think it's something else. I think the subject, I mean, that's there as well, but if I actually think about that and try and generate an emotional response from those times, I think that I've done a decent job processing that. And actually, any demons that I needed to exorcise by listening to this have previously been exorcised when it comes to that stuff. I think I've dealt with that through therapy and time and things. But there's other stuff in there that it's just poking, and I think it's the combination of the unbelievable arrangements, the complicated melodies, and the subject matter of the songs, which is a combination of, I believe, deliberate from Tom York and Greenwood, etc., and some of it is my own interpretation of it. And because those feelings that I'm having are quite powerful, even if they feel a little bit restricted in a strange sort of way that I can't quite put into words, I'm cautious about looking too much on what the songs actually mean, in case it suddenly lessens their power that they could potentially have, not over me, but with me, through me, perhaps. This is, I mean, how many album reactions have I done? Hundreds. How many video reactions have I done? It may be 2,000 at this point. It's so many across this channel and the previous channel. But I don't remember having an experience like this at all, really. And it's probably because, I mean, I was loath to do this for so many years for the reasons that I spoke about. But I think it's a very, very necessary thing to do as we end this year. A very necessary thing to do. And, you know, of course, these are albums that I need to listen to. There's 3 tracks to go. I am having a strange, powerful, slightly overwhelming experience listening to this. And every time I just want to fully fucking just something holding me back. And I don't know what it is. But maybe repeated listens will get to the bottom of it. Or maybe it'll just give me a revelation later in the day or later in the week. Who knows? But fucking hell. And again, in terms of the musicality, this is a 50 listen album before you really start getting there. Honestly. And I'm just accepting that. Seagulls in the song or in real life? They're normally in real life, but the way it sounded, loud little bastards. They were in real life. I don't know if the mic picked them up yet. They're loud bastards.
I don't wanna be your friend. I just wanna be your lover. No matter how it ends, no matter how it starts, and I'll
What the hell's going on over here, by the way?
forget about your house of cards, and I'll
Fucking hell. That was just, oh man, that was just so fucking good. That was just so fucking good. That just felt like perfect, literally perfect. A perfect song. It was 5.5 minutes long and it didn't feel like it at all. It created a similar feeling in me to Teenager from Deftones, from White Pony. Very gentle, soft, beautiful, romantic, but still with a kind of slight edge to it. But every element, from the arrangement to his voice, just to the tone of every part of it, in a world where so much music is churned out these days. And it's unfair to compare all basic ass music to perhaps Radiohead's magnum opus. I mean, it is kind of unfair to do that. But at the same time, things should be held to high standards. We should have high standards within ourselves. Really. And it comes to all sorts of things, and we fail at this all the time. You know, time spent wasted on Instagram reels when it could have been spent doing something nourishing for our soul. Whether that's reading, whether that's listening to great music, whether that's true time with great company, whether that's playing a genuinely great video game. You know, I consider that great art as well. There are many, many things that we do, and listening to shit, low effort music that is churned out with very little care, with the intention of getting as many streams as possible, generating some quick cash. It's not to say that music like that can never connect with us and we should never listen to it, because you can't just only listen and consume high art. Of course not. That's like saying you can only eat like the finest steaks the whole time. Of course not. No. It's a balance, like all things, but it's so important. It's so important to spend time reconnecting with things, with art and life that is truly nourishing, and food, in fact. Truly nourishing. Alignment, connection, nourishment. These are the essences that we should be looking for. And we should be seeking out. Or we should be enjoying when we've already enjoyed. I mean, music is to be experienced many, many, many times over. And in a world where we're so easily distracted and pulled into fucking McDonald's French fries garbage on our phones. I'm not blaming anybody or the phones. It just is what it is. There's a situation that we're in, and we never get the opportunity to be with ourselves. We never get the opportunity to experience the truer, higher spiritual levels that come through spending time with the highest level of art. It does something different. These are the true human experiences. And in a life devoid of those, no wonder we feel a sense of overwhelming despair, anger, anxiety. No wonder. No wonder if we spend all our days arguing on X from the minute we wake up to the minute we go to sleep. No wonder if we spend 3-4 hours a day locked into TikTok or Reels or YouTube Shorts. No wonder. What a fucking incredible piece of music that was. And again, the surface has barely been scratched. It's barely been scratched. That was my first listen of what will be hundreds. In many ways, it's amazing that it's taken me, when did I start YouTube? 6.5 years ago to listen to this on camera. And when did this album come out? 2007. So 17 years to listen to it. But as I often say, the music will find you when it needs to. The best time to experience a piece of art, a piece of music, whatever it is the time that it's happening right now. This is the time that it's supposed to happen. And this is the time that this is supposed to happen. Jigsaw falling into place. I've certainly heard the name of this song. It has a lot of streams. But we'll see. We'll see if I know it or not. Okay, this to me sounds like the Radiohead that I know. And weirdly, some of Elliott Smith's picking. Okay. Not anymore.
Just as you take my hand, just as you write my number down, just as the drinks arrive, just as they play your favorite song, as your body disappears. No one will wind up like a spring before you had too much. Come back and focus again. The walls have been in shape. They got a Cheshire cat grin, all blurring into one.
Instantly one of the best songs I've ever fucking heard. What the fuck? Instantly. You know when you're listening to something and you can't believe how good it is, and then it just keeps getting better? What's he saying? Is he saying let it out or let it go? During that moment, honestly, it felt like whatever the fuck is moving around this rock, I can feel inside me that it's been there for so long. It wanted to at that point. Whatever the emotions were, it wanted to, but it's still something holding it in place. It's some work that I need to do, dude. It's some work that I need to do to get this to move. And ironically, I think the way I try and do these things is to push towards them, to figure it out. Sometimes through logic or understanding or study, or in actual fact, like he says, you just actually fucking need to let it go. But God, it's hard. Let it out, I should say, not let it go. Oh my God. I mean, the album's unbelievable. The album's fucking unbelievable. But you know what? Sometimes I listen to an album first time on here, and I'm really blown away by it. It's really fucking good. It's really captivating. It's really emotive. It's real, like, it physically moves me in terms of the beat or the melody or the groove or whatever it is. And then you go and listen to it again 3, 4, 5 more times. And it's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not necessarily going to go down as something that I spend years with. A good example of that, I believe, is the latest Tyler, the Creator album, which we had a very strong reaction to on first listen. I've listened to it probably 8 to 10 times now. I really like it. Some of the songs I like a lot, but I can't see it being an album that I go back to for the rest of my life. And that's just the reality of it. But this is the other way. Obviously, I'm having a very strong reaction to it first time, but I know in my heart, this is like, you know, we've got work to do together, man. Me and this album, we've got work to do together. We're gonna be spending time with each other for a long time. I mentioned White Pony before, Deftones. That was a classic example of that. The first time I listened to that, I just finished school completely. Final exams done. The album came out. I went to the store, the CD store, the record store in the town where I live. Bought the CD, the red one. I still have it in my drawer, but it's behind all the shit. And then I had a portable CD. I was going to like a pub where people were meeting for after finishing school drinks or something. And to be honest, it was a pub on the other side of the island where I grew up. And it was where everyone was going. But to be honest, I didn't feel like I was going to feel particularly welcome because I'd never been made to feel particularly welcome to anything during my school years. However, I put this album on, and the reason I'm doing this with my hand is because I had a portable CD player, but it was before they had the technology, or at least the one I had, didn't have the technology to stop it skipping. You young ones won't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about. So I had to hold it steady like a waiter. And I decided to walk to this pub, which was about an hour, probably an hour, 15-minute walk from my house, across the other side of the island, like I said, but it was nice weather. And that's just what I decided to do. And I listened to White Pony. And I didn't understand it, really. But I knew there was something there. And me and White Pony have spent nearly 25 years together. And still, it moves me and moves different parts of me to this day. I've just begun this relationship within Rainbows. We'll see where it ends up. We'll see where we go. But this is just the beginning. This is the initial handshake, nod, slightly awkward still to conversation. We have yet to really even explore anything together. But fuck me, that song's good. Final song, Videotape.
When I'm at the pearly gates, this'll be on my videotape, my videotape. Mephistopheles is just beneath.
We see Faust earlier, Mephistopheles here.
One for the good days, and I have it all here. And
final song. Almost as if to say, we've barely begun. We've barely begun. Me and you. So just to be clear, just to give the TLDR, and if you're at this point, you don't really do TLDRs. If you've made it to this point in the video, you've got the brain capacity to not have to do TLDRs. But just to be clear, wow. Unbelievable body of work on first listen. An incredible album. Every single element flawlessly placed. Created and stirred up feelings and emotions in me that I have no clue what they are. They were very strange feelings. They were subtle. A lot of them. It definitely had some powerful moments where it knocked me on my ass. Jigsaw, all of them. Jigsaw falling into place, House of Cards, Weird Fishes, Body Snatchers. So many moments which were very strong, but a lot of the feelings. Did you feel my shoulder? Did you notice that? A lot of those feelings were more like that. Like, why am I holding on to tension? Is the music creating this? Was this there all along? What's happening? Now, I don't know about you, but music can have an extremely profound effect on me like that. And to be honest, I've shared a lot of it on video here. And at first, when music really moved me or actually made me cry a few times, I was very reluctant, unsure whether I should actually put that out. But shoulders again, did you feel it? But I did and have done in the past, and I'm glad that I did because it's connected with people. And sometimes music can catch me by surprise and just fucking make my eyes leak. But I don't know why. It's almost just like something to do with the chords and the moment and the melody and the crescendo hits me all at once, and my body takes it as an opportunity to fucking let go of something. But I never know what it is. Whereas this, I didn't let go. I almost did. But it didn't quite happen. But I feel like this might actually, as crazy as this sounds, this in a combination with other things might actually give me some of the answers I've been looking for since way before this even came out in the first place. But one thing I know for sure is that I am extremely happy to have made this video. I'm extremely happy to be able to begin my relationship with this album, and I'm extremely happy to get back into the rhythm of what this channel always was. And obviously, when you cover so many albums that are requested and are classics for people, especially within a couple of genres, you do run out of albums that are going to create that feeling in you and the audience, right? We're just peeking behind the curtain a little bit here. But even though we shifted genres slightly, it's actually less about genre. It's never been about genre, and it never has for me. Do you remember I used to say #NoGenre, all this sort of stuff at the beginning? Because it's never been about genre. It's always been about music, and indeed art, but music's ability, power to move us. And it's funny that we use the word move, isn't it? Because we can feel something moving. But what does move mean? It means to go from here to there. It's a physical thing, move, but yeah, we use it to describe an emotional feeling. But that's what this channel, and actually anything that I'm going to do on YouTube, is about. What moves us, and what moves us in a better direction, and what moves what's stuck within us in order to better our lives. And music has an unbelievable power to do that. And one of the ways it does it is by connecting us with each other. And even though I'm listening to this on my own in this room, like I said before, I can sense a million ghosts that have a deep connection to this album. And by ghosts, I don't mean people who've listened to this and died. I mean the ghosts of the feeling. What I mean is the ghosts of the feelings, the experiences, the relationships of this album that just exist out there in the atmosphere, in the universe. Ghost might not be the right word. Spirits, essences, I don't know. But ghost sounds fucking cooler to me anyway. And when there's a new album out, you don't get that feeling. You don't. It's impossible because it doesn't exist yet. But for this, for the first time in a long time, felt them. They were there. If you're watching this on YouTube, this was available first on Patreon. There's a link down in the description to come and support the channel. Obviously, if you know how music reaction channels work, we don't earn any money from the videos, that all goes to the record label. So Patreon is how we're able to do this, is how I'm able to do this. So if you'd like to come and support, this is the lifeblood of what I do, then we'd love to have you over there, and you'll be seeing new records, maybe from Radiohead, other classics that are already there, along with a fully uncut version. But overall, all I'd ask for is a like, is a subscribe, and some comments down there if you'd like to share your thoughts. And guys, I will see you on the next one. Peace.